right, so I'm going to show you how to make this fun sort of fake stained glass effect using an overhead transparency and some tinfoil. So before you get started, you need an idea for a drawing, and it can come from anywhere. There's plenty of drawing books in the classroom. You could use one of the how to draw videos, but I am going to ask you to work out your drawing on paper first. I was sort of flipping through this cars and trucks book, and I liked the idea of the sailboat, so I started to sketch one out with pencil and add to it. I mean, you don't want your drawings to be the exact same as the book. You're going to add some creativity to it. I could have put some people on board or some fish in the water. I decided to sort of focus on giving some extra textures and patterns. And then once you have your idea ready, we're going to trace it onto a sheet of transparency. One thing I don't like about this is I feel like my sailboat got really crunched up at the top of the page. So when I trace it, instead of lining up the transparency directly over it, I'm going to slide it up a little bit so that my boat can have a little room to breathe up top. Grab a Sharpie marker and go ahead and trace all of your details. And I'm going to speed this up, so I'm going to press pause until I finish tracing, and I'll show you the next step. All right, so I've traced most of my lines, and before I can start to color, I'm actually going to do something that's going to seem a little bit weird. I'm going to turn my project over. I'm going to put a clean sheet under there so you can see it. For most of your coloring, you're going to do it on the back of your page. If you do it on the front, what might happen is Sharpie actually can erase Sharpie. So look what happens if I color across that black line. You see how it starts to disappear? I did that with the yellow on purpose because I know it's not going to show up very much in my finished one. So let me put that back, and my Sharpie's on the front side. And you know what'll help? Actually, if you sign your name in the beginning, you're always going to know which is the front and which is the back because your name will be backwards. All right, so I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do most of my coloring on the back. Now I don't have to worry about smudging those black lines. And I might start with the hull of my boat and add some designs in there. We're not going to be doing the tinfoil part today, but I'm going to show you how it works, just so you know. And anytime you want, you can bring your project up and check it against a piece of tinfoil so you can see how your colors are going. You're going to want to color most of your page. There shouldn't be a whole lot of white space. You can leave, some spaces in between some of your colors, but for the most part, it should be all colored. Here's what I wanted to show you. Let's say I wanted to do sort of a checkerboard pattern here, and then I wanted to color yellow in all of those spaces. If I were to just take the yellow and color over the orange, we already know that the orange would start to kind of smudge, right? But if I leave my orange on this side and I flip my paper over, then I can be kind of messy when I color the yellow. And look how that orange line stays exactly where I put it the first time. So for the most part, you're going to do your black lines on the front and your coloring on the back. But every once in a while, if it makes sense to flip it over and break that rule, that is okay. Once your paper is completely covered in color, you're going to be ready for the next step. And instead of just putting it on a plain piece of tinfoil, it works out kind of nicely if you take the tinfoil and just gently clap it between your hands. Then when you put it down, it's going to reflect the light and give your project that nice stained glass effect. So that's it. You are going to do your rough draft first. You're going to trace it on one of the transparencies, and then you're going to start adding some color and lines and patterns with the Sharpies. Good luck.